In the past 8 years, I've made millions, I've lost millions, and I've taken my parents out of complete hell. I've done this all while building one of the most powerful personal brands in the space that you may well know as Wiz of Ecom. I've done this all while being completely anonymous. None of you have seen my face before. None of you even know my name. But today, this all ends. See, the beauty here is I've been able to document the past 8 years of my life, every struggle, every high, and every single low. From helping host shows for Tony Robbins in my teens to building an office of 75 employees by the age of 21, all the way to where I am today. Now, let's cut the suspense. Hello everybody. My name is Mubu, aka Wiz of Ecom, and this is my story. Now, before I tell you some wow story, I think the structure that everyone uses here is sob story, I struggled, I came out, I failed, I came out again, and then all of a sudden I'm victorious. I don't want to go down the same route. I'm going to show you what really happened in my life. I had my struggles. I'm not going to say that we were dirt poor. We grew up in just below middle class. There was a point in life where life got very difficult. And the outcome in this scenario was, it changed my life. I became conscious of money at a very early age, and that was the biggest blessing in disguise. So you're gonna notice the trend inside of my entire story, and I want you to resonate with a lot of these throughout your own personal life. The trend in my story was I had to go through life-changing situations, reframe them into the best way into my head so I can come out victorious. You're going to notice that there are 6 major decisions in my life that absolutely changed the trajectory of who I am today, and I will share them all with you without showing some sob wow baby story. So at 11 years old, my father was scammed. I was lucky though. I had a cousin who was also over at the age of 11 years old. His father cut him off of all money at the age of 11. Why? Because his father believes something that I do stand for today. You have to work, you have to earn the money that you want to spend. So my cousin and I, both the same age, started finding online forums to make some money. By the age of 14, both of us figured out affiliate marketing. We're on YouTube, building YouTube channels for affiliate marketing offers. We had methods called the 301 method where we can rank at the top of YouTube search. You don't care about the hows, but things were working. At 14 years old, making money, thousands of dollars on a monthly basis, I was able to roll out of bed and see revenue numbers of this person just bought the offer, $11 deposited, $18 deposited, $22 deposited. Things were absolutely going in my favor. I thought I had the Midas touch. I was the luckiest man alive. And that's when God humbles you. I was humbled very quickly in this journey. Within a matter of months, I started going out, buying Xboxes, broke one, bought another Xbox One, flew to Dominican with my cousin at 15 years old. And hey, we thought we were the king of the hill, egotistical, cocky little kids. I remember sitting in my business class in grade 10, drawing out the freaking affiliate network logo, ignoring class, ignoring my teacher, thinking that I was hot shit. And like I said, I was humble. God ripped that away from me, destroyed the method, and I was back to square one. But as you can imagine, when you taste that little bit of your first cash, when you taste something that actually starts working, it's like a bug that's constantly itching. You want more. You want to see what else you can be doing with this. So at the age of 15, I started looking into new ways to make money with my cousin. We found a software called Mass Planner. We were able to grow over 1,000 Instagram accounts completely automated. And grow theme pages and the Audi niche, the Lamborghini niche, the Golden Retrievers niche, the health and fitness niche, any theme page that you can fathom, we were obsessing over them. We grew well over 1 million followers throughout this journey, started acquiring accounts, started acquiring different pages, and then we realized, hey, we can offer this as a service. So in our teens, we built our first marketing agency. At the time, we had no idea that this was a marketing agency, but things were going well. Until my parents had to talk with me and told me it's time to go to university. And we all know this talk. I'm not gonna tell you some foo-foo, lame shit story. I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. I tried in school. I just failed. It just never clicked for me. I didn't understand things to their most core level. I didn't know how I learned. And this is a key lesson I'm going to be teaching in this video is I figured out how to learn, but the ways that I learned best to cultivate the mind that I have today. So I went to university, first year, lived on campus, absolutely legendary experience. I made friends, I got to party, lifelong friends who were there even at my own wedding. But at the polar opposite side of things, life became chaotic. I was at the lowest point of my life here. I'm failing school. I'm struggling with cash. I had no idea about what I wanted to do in the future because my businesses weren't sustainable. I didn't even consider them businesses at the time. They were just quick hustles for some quick cash on the side. I decided to get jobs at a juice bar. I decided to get a job at a real estate center. I was losing my absolute mind and I was unhappy. As the egotistical little kid I was, I started arguing with my family. My parents are stressed about money. I'm stressed because I had no idea what's going on in life and I started fighting. Fought with my father in the way where I screamed, I yelled, the most embarrassing moments of my life. I punched a wall and I broke my arm. And that's actually what started the trajectory towards my entire life turning around. So one of my best friends from childhood, on January 3rd, 2017, found out that I was crying in my dorm, absolutely depressed, unhappy, and I was stuck in life. He bought me a journal, handed it to me, and he's like, Mubu, here you go. I want you to tell me where you want to be in 5 years and then tell me why. I told him, I want $10,000 in my bank account. I want to have a car. I want to have a new watch. All of these things, materialistic, egotistical little things without worrying or thinking about anyone else around me. And he asked me, why? Why, Mubu? I wrote in my answer, I said, well, it's because I'm going to be able to be happy with these. He's like, why? He made me write out why again. I did it again and again and again until I realized that wasn't my actual goal in my life. The vision I had was fake. The North Star that I was aiming for wasn't real, and no wonder nothing was working in my life. Everything that I was obsessed about, this dream that I had, wasn't a real dream. It was something that I was just chasing towards because everyone in life, everyone in society, everything I see on TV was telling me that is what I needed to aim for. But that's not the man who I wanted to actually become. After that point, we started buying books together, started reading together, started taking notes on persuasion and sales and body language and tonality. We started practicing what we wanted to become, even though we had no idea what that was. So now what? I'm thinking to myself, everything that my vision was couldn't have been given to me through university. I had this decision to drop out. I dropped out after my first year. Oh no, another guru, dropout university student. Listen, we all have our reasons. My reason was it wasn't working. I tried. I did whatever the hell I needed to do, but it just did not click for me. So I figured out my true vision, what I wanted to reach for, true generational wealth where all the members of my family can reach this point happily as well with me. No more stress, because what has been the problem my entire life, the root of it all, what I thought at the time was money. So I went in. I dropped out and I started working in my marketing agency again on the side. One of my clients invited both my cousin and I out to Pakistan. What the hell? Why Pakistan? We were probably wondering. Well, he owned an office there. He had a company, he had a software, he had about 15 employees, he was doing well. So my cousin and I stayed there. 5 months, lived in the office, did everything that we needed to specifically do to try building this business. But this is something that you guys don't know about my story is the partnership didn't work in the first 5 months. So I flew back home. I had someone in my network who connected me with someone who hosts shows for Tony Robbins. And I'm like, this is it. This is the opportunity. The same day I came back, the next morning I went to visit the guy. He was 5 hours away via bus. So I worked there. I got to host shows for TD Jakes. I met him. I got to host shows for Tony Robbins. I met him. Thousands and thousands of people there, but I realized this job wasn't for me as well too. So what did I do? I rekindled things up with my old partner and I went back to Pakistan. And this is where my life entirely changed. So in Pakistan, I flew out there. I lived in an 8x8 room. I kid you not, inside of my office with a mattress on the floor. I had my entire team working there all around the clock. We had a night shift, we had a day shift. Night shift was all there for customer support, sales calls, because it's in the opposite side of the world and we're calling North America. And then we had our day shift. We had a room for the developers. We had a room for the marketers. And then we had the outside area for everybody else and the little private rooms for my partner and I. Now, here's where things got crazy. I came in, sitting about 15 to 18 different employees. We're building that one software. We realized, hey, this is a very expensive game. Let's go try something new. So what do we try? E-commerce. Oh, how difficult could this be? Store 1 fails, store 2 fails, store 3 fails, store 4 fails, all the way until store 12. We had this continuous freaking fail rate. Nothing was clicking, and it just seemed like the story of my life. Every time I tried something new, besides the first time I got to taste that success, nothing was working. Right? I would try and I would get kicked back down. I truly believed there was a curse on my family. Things weren't clicking. The SaaS was getting too expensive. The office was getting difficult to maintain and run. And at the near brink of quitting, one of our stores worked. Then we just started duplicating the formula. We had stores in the anime niche. We had stores in the babies niche. We had stores in the phone cases niche. We had stores in every single niche that you can fathom. And we started growing this team. Media buyers, hiring them consultants who trained them. Email marketers, we realized the importance of email marketing back in 2019. Started expanding there and learning every detail about Klaviyo. Copywriting, CRO. We built this team of just super freaking heroes, all of them by our side, and we started scaling. But this is where we had a very big road bump in our journey. My partner and I had a little bit of different visions. I wanted to scale the e-com division. He wanted to scale the apps division and the software division, and our visions started colliding. You guys have to remember, I'm a kid. I did not have the crazy amount of equity. I wasn't a majority equity holder. So his decision always went, and I respect that. You have to understand, you're a kid, this guy's in his 30s, absolutely killed the game, had full faith and trust in his decision, so I went with it. But it was the wrong one. We started over expanding. We had SaaSes, we had Shopify apps. One of the Shopify apps scaled to 6 figs a month. We had our own e-com brands, and then we decided, hey, why not go more? We built our own marketing agency. We know everything about scaling DTC brands. Why not just go in and offer this as a service? So my partner and I, aka my mentor to this day today, flew all around the world. We flew to Dubai, we flew to New York, we flew to Los Angeles, we flew to Texas, we flew to all these different places around the world with one main goal. Go to every event possible, speak to every person there, pitch our offer, of course befriend them, and start closing. We closed deals for $2,500, $5K, $10K, $20K. We had people playing these as retainers on a month-to-month basis. Now we had this ecosystem, 75 employees all around the world. We're scaling. We decided, let's go ahead and build an office in Toronto as well too. We built a warehouse, had a basketball court inside, had our own products where we had an essential oil brand. We had whiteboards all around where we created this think tank where everywhere you go, you can go and write down ideas. We had thousands of dollars worth of camera equipment, green screens, everything that you can fathom. For what? For one goal, to build and scale this into something that we couldn't even fathom. However, you're gonna notice a lot throughout this journey that if I am unhappy with something and I'm putting my all in and I'm noticing although money is coming in, does not mean that I need to continue with it. And this is a key lesson for everyone out there. Money can mean something if you put too much weight on it. However, in my life, I realized money wasn't the end all be all. I was depressed. At this point, it is late 2019. I'm 6'1", 130 pounds. I'm losing my mind. In offices in Pakistan, flying around, coming back, managing my teams, leading people, and I'm realizing, hey, I can do all of this with a fraction of the employees. We don't need this many people, and we can do everything by just focusing on a few winners. So I started arguing with my business partner. Him and I went back and forth, too many disagreements, things weren't working out. I told him this is not the life that I wanted to be living, and I just felt overused. So him and I decided to take a quick break. We flew to Mexico. We went to an island that had about 400 families, and the only way to travel on that island was through donkeys or ATVs. The entire goal of the island, the entire trip, was to come back to reality, figure out what's wrong and what we should be doing next. On that island is where I realized that this partnership wasn't for me.
May 26, 2020, the largest and toughest decision of my life so far. I held my ground, I stayed firm, and no looking back. This is my decision, and I have tawakkul and trust in our universe. Bismillah.
As I broke the news to my business partner at the time, things started getting a little bit chaotic. He sat me down in my office, inside of my bedroom, wrote on my whiteboard, $1 million in 3 years, Mubu, is what he said to me. I will give you $1 million in 3 years guaranteed cash for yourself. Although as tempting as that sounded, I didn't think my mental state could have handled it. So I made a decision with a smile in my mind to go on by myself. And this is where Earn from Ecom was born. I started providing value. I started reaching out to people. I had the experience in the space. I've generated a few $1 million by that time. I've built SaaSes, I've built Shopify apps, I've built e-com brands. I know the e-commerce space. So I decided, build an agency, get some cash flow, and build your presence. I didn't think anything of it. I've seen a few people in the space like Kobe Gatsby and Nate Schmidt tweeting on a daily basis. I thought these accounts were very cool. They had knowledge that I could have been providing myself. So I went in, I built this account, and I started growing quickly. 100 followers, 200, 300, 500, 1,000, and I closed the deal. I realized, hey, I didn't have to do any outreach. I didn't have to fly to any events. I didn't have to do anything miraculous or crazy. A prospect came to me and they said, hey, What do you offer? I'm interested. I started doing some consulting. I started putting money in people's pockets. People were offering me equity in their businesses, and people were paying my agency. And I realized there is some serious potential here. So I rebranded. All inspired by one account in the space named Ads Alchemist, I've become Wiz of Ecom. This persona, which you guys see this image right over here, that profile picture wasn't even my real profile picture. I was a monk meditating because that's all I cared for at the time was my daily meditations. So I went full force, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 7,000 followers. We started growing, and you guys are probably wondering, that's it? A couple thousand followers really isn't much, Wiz. Well, on Twitter, in this specific space, it is probably the most potent amount of followers out there. This is hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram and TikTok. That's the purchase intent. That's the type of people who are actually on this platform. So I started getting all these same comments over and over. Beginners asking me questions. How can I start? What is going on? What are my next steps? And the same simplified questions, I realized, hey, when I got started out, I was just on forums. I had other people answering my questions, and I was able to provide value of what I learned in the space, so I created a community. This forum called the Utopia. The Utopia.io was one of the most powerful catalyst events that we've seen on this side of Twitter called Money Twitter. People remember it through all around their journey. I was able to grow this in a matter of months, over 1,000 people in the platform, all through my own Twitter account. Things were picking up, people were loving it, and across the Utopia and my agency, I was able to scale to a couple six figures ARR within my first few months of going and venturing on my own. People started seeing me as this authority in the space. Me, a random brown dude with a beard who had an anime profile picture, but they trusted me. I started jumping in calls with some of the biggest accounts that you see in the space. People like Dan Code, JK Molina, Kodima Wizard. To this day, we were all building at the same time in the same group chats, and they were some of my closest friends at the time. And I thought to myself, wow. And looking at where they are today, I couldn't be more proud. And I think this is one of the coolest parts of the journey. I was able to connect with some of the most powerful people in the space because they started out at the same position as I did with 0 followers. They just had some value to start providing. So we started shouting each other out, started working with each other and gaining followers and trust with each other. We have seen each other's skill sets, we've seen each other's expertise, and we knew that we can vouch for each other within the space, and that's when things started going absolutely ballistic. Utopia was scaling, agency was doing well, the network was expanding, and I decided, let's start traveling the world again. I flew to Costa Rica, I lived there for a few months. I flew to Panama, I lived there for a year. I moved to Morocco, I lived there for 8 months. I went to Spain, I lived there for 5 months. I was able to travel all around the world while meeting some of the coolest people in the space. To date, they have become my best friends. I met Shawpreneur, I met Carl Weiss, I met Dentez Leo, Ego Driven, some of the coolest names in the space, all because of the personal account that I was able to build. And most importantly, one of the greatest milestones on my journey, I was able to take the weight of money off of my parents' shoulders, aka the real reason why I started this journey, to take care of my loved ones, take the stress out of their minds, and make sure that they don't have to worry on a month-to-month basis. I am so grateful to say this, and I am so blessed to be able to say this. I take care of my parents' bills, any bills that they need. I send them lump sums of money whenever they want to do something extravagant with their life. This is why we do what we do. Our parents have dedicated their lives to us, and it's up to us, the next generation, to take care of them. So as things started to scale, I realized revenue was coming in more and more. Utopia was scaled up to 6,500 total members at its peak of all members of all time and generating $2 million in revenue. My agency was picking up, my consultancy was picking up, the network was expanding, things were looking very well, so I decided to share what I learned with my friend. I shared it with Carl Weiss and Dylan Ander. Carl Weiss and Dylan Ander were both competition with each other. I told them both that I'm helping both out at the exact same time frame, but both became the most powerful names within their industries. Carl Weiss added over $300,000 in 90 days. Dylan Ander was able to add millions of dollars in revenue for his business as well too, while starting fresh accounts with no authority. So what did I do? I decided to make this into a real agency offer. Things were just clicking. The results were pouring in like clockwork. I noticed because I've already had my presence, big names were coming to me and asking me for help. So I started closing clients left, right, and center because of the presence that I've created. And this changed everything. I started working with the biggest names in the space, one by one, creating even better results and systemizing every little element of this process. I started marrying the concept of propaganda and hypnosis mixed together with all the psychology knowledge that I knew at the time and started learning more to teach people how to become the greatest and most powerful authorities within their niches. I shared it with another client. He worked with Sam Ovens. He runs ads for people like Patrick Bet-David. He is the strongest YouTube ads agency within the space, and he came to me because he wanted to become this authority with his personal brand on Twitter. And we did it. He's closing deals like clockwork. We had Jordan Ross come in, the owner of 8F Agency with a few thousand followers, scaled him to 50K followers. What mattered even more was closing over $250,000 worth of new deals for his agency in a matter of a few months. All of them were closing deals because of the frameworks and the systems that I created. We even started popularizing new business models. People came to us at the end of 2022, Straight Line Advertising and Jordan Lee. They wanted to introduce the concept of growth partners to their entire audiences. No one knew what they were at the time. With our help and working alongside them, they added $155,000 in revenue off of a single launch. Now in 2023, the most popularized business model in the space is growth partners. It didn't matter if they were a coach, an agency owner, a consultant, an info product owner, or a SaaS even. We worked with Instantly.ai, one of the greatest cold outreach platforms there is. We had all three of the founders on our program, and they had the greatest month of growth they've ever had with their personal brands on Instantly when they were with us. It was simple. All I had to do was interview them personally, create a custom content strategy for them, implement propaganda and hypnosis tactics, tell them exactly what to be doing, and introduce the exact funnels that they need to be creating alongside us, and just follow us, listen to us every single day. All of us were thriving, and there was so much more growth possible. No more cold outreaches. People were funneling in, realizing the most powerful thing that they can do is no longer only sending cold outreach messages. They were expanding, building this traffic and acquisition ecosystem to help them build the most powerful brands online and reach the exact prospect that they cared for while people are lining up at their door to pay them. And this takes us to the most important part, explaining to you all why I am breaking my anonymous status. It is because I have pure conviction in what I'm preaching. I see no play out there as powerful right now as building your online presence into an authority. And to practice what I preach and to show business owners all around the world of the possibilities, I am breaking my anonymous status to go all in with you to build your presence into an authority. And I'm doing this all while building two main projects. Number one is the Presence Pillars, and number two is Mogul Media. The Presence Pillars is becoming a university to build your online presence into an authority. Every social media platform you could imagine will be within this university. We have totally mastered the art of Twitter. We have generated millions and millions of dollars for us and our clients through all of our systems and frameworks, and we provide that to you within the community. From there, we're adding email marketing into the community to learn how to build your presence and automate lead flow with your own emails from your own personal brand. After that, we're adding LinkedIn. After that is going to be TikTok organic. After that will be YouTube organic. Every single social media you'll need will be within this Presence Pillars platform. The moment you join, you get the framework of the perfect content strategy based off of your objectives, based off of your goals, and based off of your specific follower range. We teach you exactly how to write all of those pieces of content. Then we review everything for you inside of our private community with myself and my business partner, Aaron, to make sure you have all the right content ideas to review your content for you and make sure every piece of content you produce is purposeful for you to get the greatest results possible. Next up is Mogul Media, where I get to work with a few of you personally. I hand select a few individuals, the top names within the space, and I help them expand. I exclusively interview you and create a custom content strategy with every hook, every long form post that you need, every video topic, every content idea based off your follower range, and tell you to follow exactly what we say. We bring you into this 90-day journey with us where we make sure every single day you are writing the content that you need to be producing to get the greatest amount of traction and build your account into this authority that is forever going to be generating leads. This is the program that we have taken the greatest names across, from Carl Weiss, Jordan Ross, Dylan Ander, Brian Moncada, Brandon Ham, and so many more. It doesn't matter if they had zero 0 followers or 50,000 followers. One of our clients came on with 100 followers, Brandon Ham. He was in the landing page niche and we grew him to 3K followers and he closed over $150,000 worth of deals in a matter of months. Then we have people like SEO Caval who came to us with 40,000 followers. He was able to close over $100,000 worth of deals in 60 days. He was able to book out his entire agency for 90 days in advance because of the strategies that we made for him on Mogul Media. We have used this authority protocol without templatizing the industry, making sure every single person has their own individual inner voice, whatever that may be, based off the interviews, based off the optimizations, based off understanding exactly who you specifically are. It's why every single person you see on the screen right now has prospered and profited drastically ever since working with me. People like Frazier, who was at $22,000 MRR when he came on the program a few months back, to being over 6 figures on a monthly basis and being the most powerful creative agency all of Money Twitter has ever seen before as he expands to every other social media out there. And I've created this system so I can share it with you. This is why I'm going all in with my personal brand, to teach you the most powerful point of leverage you will have in the online space, which is to become the authority within your niche, the go-to individual that everyone thinks of when they think about your specific offer, your SaaS, your info product, whatever it may be. You have to become this go-to individual. The link to the 2 projects I'm building are in the description below. Click them and let's you and I chat. It may sound cliche, but this is the reason I started Wiz of Ecom, because I wanted to see how far I can take myself and push myself to limits beyond what my mind could even fathom. I wanted to prove to myself that I can do things myself and alone. I wanted to prove to myself that I can build something from my mind no matter how bad I failed throughout schools and every other part of my life journey. I realized I'm here to teach. I realized I'm able to build these businesses. I realized I've made decisions that have changed my life for the better, and this is one of those decisions. All of us are a single decision away. My greatest decision that I've made throughout these years has been building my online presence, and this is going to be the next great. I had to re-record this video multiple times because I still couldn't believe that I was doing it. I have the camera right in front of my face right now. I took this step forward, and I'm so grateful for every single one of you. This is the first of many videos that are going to be coming out on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe. You guys will not be disappointed with the content coming. I'm Wiz, aka Mubu, and I'm signing off.